Balls Deep.
Welcome to Balls Deep, a humorous yet informative medical show with a mission of optimizing your performance in the bedroom, the bathroom, and the boardroom. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Pazona, a board-certified urologist and CEO of Pazona MD. We hope you enjoy. Now, let's jump right in. Hello, Stream Team. Welcome to another episode of Balls Deep. Dr. Joe Pazona, board-certified urologist with Pazona MD, as always joined by the lovely and intelligent and great hair, Cat Williams.
I gave him $20 to say all that. No, I'm going to hijack the episode today because I have some questions.
Ooh.
And I thought we'd just do a little Q&A.
Yeah, no, that's...
Can I put you on the hot seat?
Oh, please do.
Okay, this is far more entertaining for me personally, and isn't it really just about me?
Well, I feel like we're back on our first date that we talked about on a previous episode.
I don't know that we need to talk about that.
Where you hit me with about 3 hours of very inappropriate questions.
Tasteless, horrific,
but hey,
inappropriate
questions. If you're dating a urologist, you might as well laugh and have fun. So,
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have been sent some questions, legitimate questions from listeners. I was going to say readers, but this is a podcast and you're listening to it. So I'm going to ask you these questions and we'll see what happens.
All right.
Okay. He has not seen these before and I just wrote them down earlier. Okay. Number one, I have trouble climaxing as a man. What is the deal with this? What is wrong with me? It's really frustrating to me and my partner.
So
new partner, maybe?
This is something that is not really talked about. You know, we jokingly talk about guys who are, a little quick on the trigger, premature ejaculation where you orgasm too quickly. But, that obviously is very distressful. On the flip side, it's also really distressing to not be able to climax. So I've had some guys come and be like, Doc, I can't. I keep going and going and
it's
listen.
Anxiety issue? What's the deal?
I'm attracted. They say I'm attracted to my partner. Like I enjoy it. It's just, I can't get there. And unfortunately, orgasm difficulties in especially men are poorly understood. We don't know why some guys in under 30 seconds, you rub them the right or the wrong way and it's game over. And other guys are like the Energizer bunny and it's 45 minutes to an hour and everybody's exhausted and kind of wants to move on. So,
and it still doesn't happen.
Yeah. So some definitions. First off, the average length of sexual activity, if we look at least a study of married heterosexual couples across the world, is
how long have they been married?
Is about 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
So if we actually time all right, we're in, I'm done, 5 to 7 minutes. So this notion that every guy is wanting to be this stallion or stud is just off a little bit. But this gentleman sounds like he may have delayed orgasm or even anorgasmia. And, orgasm, believe it or not, is 100% up here. It's
mental. It's mental.
It's not that it's mental. It's that it comes from the brain. And so it's not as if these guys have a mental issue. It's not as if these guys are not attracted to their partner. We just don't understand it. Now, what are some things that we do understand can play a role? So hands on the biggest one, antidepressant medications. So when things like Prozac and Paxil hit the market, people are like, yeah, I'm feeling better. But hey, doc, I can't orgasm. And so us urologists are like, oh, well, I know some guys that can help out. And we actually prescribe those medications for men who ejaculate too quickly. But if you ejaculate, if it takes too long, it's prolonged or never happens, I unfortunately don't have much in my tool belt to speed it up. And again, we're getting over, all the jokes and things we can make about, well, I'm just not doing it for you anymore. And we're beyond that. We're talking about guys who legitimately like, no, I'm interested. I have an erection. I am in love and incredibly attracted to this person. And I just can't make it happen. And so it's a very frustrating issue.
But there's not a medical treatment for this?
There's not a lot.
Okay.
One other thing that can potentially play a role is, we want to look at testosterone levels, thyroid issues. We want to kind of do a bit of a holistic approach. If they are having any bit of erectile dysfunction, make sure we get them nice and firm, because maybe that's the issue of why they're not able to get there. And certainly there are instances too, right, where a good sex therapist is going to uncover, hey, is there some sort of mental block? But unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do if we rule out those other things for guys. So often it's going to be a sex therapist and sort of a multimodal approach.
Okay. Next question. I don't know if this is a joke or not.
Okay.
But this was sent in. I'm going to try to read it. Our local veterinarian is offering a post-vasectomy semen test. My husband wants to save money and do this. Is he insane? I'm going to go with yeah. Wait, what? Is this legal?
This is a new one.
There's no way this is legal.
Wow.
You talk. I don't know what to say.
Do I have to? Where do I begin?
You're the doctor.
Could a veterinarian look at a human semen sample and tell whether there's sperm? He could. Should he? And would I follow that if it were me? I would not. I guess at first hearing this, I'd say, veterinarian, you're potentially at risk for some legal trouble. Because you're either acting like a lab or practicing medicine. And last I checked, you tend to be limited to 4-legged creatures and not 2-legged ones. So I'd be more honestly worried about the veterinarian. So no, listen.
But the question here is he insane? And I think the answer to that is a definitive yes.
I won't comment. I think the guys, listen, I appreciate people who are a little resourceful and showing some ingenuity, but this is not where I'd save my money.
I appreciate saving $1 too, but okay.
Yeah, no, listen, so there's
better options.
So the option I believe the most in, there's a company called Fellow, and they specialize in semen analyses, whether we're doing it for fertility or post-vasectomy.
Okay.
I believe in them so much that I don't even look at samples in my office. I believe people should do what they're exceptional at and delegate other things. It's just a tenet of mine. So I'm pretty good at doing vasectomies. I ain't so good looking under a microscope. And so let's send that to the experts. So it's not to say the veterinarian who may be very experienced with the microscope and understand, like, if I look and I see a bunch of little squiggly things moving around, those are sperm. And if I don't, then they're not there. This is a pretty big decision. Like, I'd want something that is accurate, definitively.
You would think.
You go through all that effort for a vasectomy, and then you're like, I'm going to save $140 and just go with the local vet.
That was the next question. How much does the post-semen test cost?
About 3 boxes of diapers.
There you go. And there it is.
So, I would encourage this person to
spend the $140.
Spend the $140. Get the accurate testing kit. Maybe this is not where we do DIY medicine.
Probably not.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. This is an interesting question and kind of feels like this was not written by a man. Yeah. I'm going to throw this out there. When do erections stop? Should they ever stop? I wonder if this is a lady hoping they will stop at some point.
Kat, this sounds eerily similar to something you said in a previous episode.
I did not write
So I'm just going to call BS here and say
you
write this. You wrote this question.
I did not, I swear.
Folks, I'm not certain this is a true, readers and viewers, question and answer session here.
God is my witness.
I'm pretty darn sure that you're not a good liar. Listen, when do 50% of people by age, 50% of men by age 50 have erectile dysfunction. So first and foremost, the likelihood of having a natural erection with age goes down significantly with time. That number, 70% of men by age 70 have trouble with erection. So sadly, because of all the diseases of aging, high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, obesity, all of these things do damage on blood vessels and nerves. And they just become more common and cumulative with age that, I'd tell this person that don't worry, time will cut down on the erections. But if a man is taking good care of himself and, is still has good hormone balance and follows my 4 pillars of wellness, there's no reason he can't be, laying pipe in his 90s. I mean, so I would say let's keep that erectile function going.
I'm going to leave it there. No. And I did not write that question.
I don't believe
okay.
it.
The last question we have today, we're doing a short little episode and we'll discuss that later, is this one. My semen changes consistency and color sometimes. Is this a sign of something bad? Why does this happen? I have never heard of that.
Yeah. Probably because most women are not examining semen very closely.
Probably
something you don't want to see. I know a lot of comments can be inserted in here, so I'm just going to pause.
Move on.
Hold on. We have a lot of male listeners with 6 senses of humor. Let's pause and let them insert their own jokes. Thank you. That was a good one. So yes, guys often come in and say, hey, my semen is thick. Now it's thin, or it's a little bit yellow, or I saw some blood, or it was brown. Like, what does this mean? Am I dying? And, the fact of the matter is changes in semen are really poorly understood. It's probably related to diet. It's probably related to hydration status, frequency of sexual activity. I mean, if we think about it, if semen is just kind of sitting there and you unload the chamber once a month or once every 2 months, it's going to build up and probably be a little bit thicker and may be a funny color. If you are recently urinated or you have to urinate, maybe a little urine's going to mix in and give it a little yellow tinge. And then blood in the semen. This is actually one of the few medical conditions where blood in a body fluid is really not alarming. So we evaluate guys for this. It's called hematospermia. And universally, as long as we kind of run through a checklist of other sort of health maintenance things, it's almost never associated with anything. So guys, if your semen changes, you don't need to rush into the urologist. There's not much we're going to be able to do, especially if you don't have any other symptoms. Now, if you're having burning with urination, more frequent urination, blood in the urine, absolutely come in and get evaluated. But if it's just changes in semen and nothing else, I'd stop paying attention to it and just get reassurance that you're okay.
Okay. Those are the 4 questions that I had.
All right.
I'd like to get some more because I think this is very interesting and offers a moment for you to comment on some things. And I think, all kidding aside, a lot of people have things going on and you're too embarrassed to ask a question.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were several reasons for trying this episode. One, to just change it up and see what you, the stream team, thought of this. So if you liked it, give us a thumbs up and a positive comment and a question. And if not, just thumb it down and we'll do something different.
And sometimes, you just need answers to things.
Absolutely.
Like you have a razor in the shower that you purchased and then it's clearly being used for other activities. And, what do you do about that? What do you do about things like that?
On that note, folks,
you just need answers sometimes.
On that, folks, we're going to end this week's episode of Balls Deep. I'm not certain that all those questions were from viewers, especially that last one.
4 were. 4 were.
I like to be groomed. Until next time, please show yourself a little bit more love and kindness. We are all works in progress and opportunities to improve, including those of us who need to change out the razor a little bit more often in the shower. Thanks, Stream Team. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Balls Deep. If you'd like to join our stream team of listeners, please click the subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. For more information about our practice, Pazona MD, please visit pazonamd.com. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and the content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. The show does not constitute the practice of medicine. No doctor-patient relationship is formed through this podcast or any of the social media channels related to this show. The use of this information is at the user's own risk. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice from any medical condition they have, and they should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.